Yeah, so howdy everyone. First off, thank you for joining us tonight. If we didn't meet at the last NMDP webinar, I'm Jillian, your International Post-Secondary Collegiate Vice President. So on behalf of the entire Executive Council, we just want to give you guys a warm welcome to tonight's webinar. And before I hand it off to Carrie and Benita as well, I do want to share that HOSA has just published a brand new NMDP guide on our website. So it takes all the basics on getting started with our service project, doing the registry events, doing the fundraisers, which we're going over today, and even some suggestions for state officers on how they can help. And it just puts it into one nice printable document. So obviously, you're all getting in-depth and amazing information from these webinars. But if you have chapters who can't make it and want to get started, or if you just need a quick reference, this guide is there for you guys to hopefully make involvement with NMDP a little bit easier to navigate. So I believe it's on hosa.org/publications. But yeah, that's all the announcements from the IUC. So I'll go ahead and hand it off to Carrie and Benita.
And your host for this evening, my name is Carrie Goffner. I am the manager of community fundraising and events here at NMDP. I've been at NMDP going on 12 years, and one of the areas that I focus on is students and specifically the partnership with HOSA. Benita, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you. Sorry, I'm not on camera. Something's going on with my camera for some reason. I can't get it to work. Anyway, I'm Benita Davis, Senior Program Partner. I have been working in the Be the Match/NMDP realm for almost 16 years. And I started out as a recruiter, basically out in the field trying to set up registry events and things like that. And now I work with our national partners, and everybody that knows me knows HOSA is my favorite, but don't tell anybody. So basically, I'm kind of the first person that you get to when you submit a request for your team page or things like that. So I handle the recruitment side as far as like adding people to the registry, and Carrie handles the fundraising side. So that's me.
Great. Thank you, Benita. And real quick, our agenda for tonight, we're going to quickly remind you who we are, NMDP, why we fundraise. We're going to take just a moment to look at our fundraising platform. And then we're going to go through a handful of fundraising ideas, some tried and true that some other students across the country have done and had some success with. And then we'll talk about some resources, your points and incentives. And then I'd love to, if at all possible, leave some time for questions. And if anyone has any other better fundraising or different fundraising ideas that you'd like to share, that would be fantastic. So Benita, I'll let you introduce NMDP.
Okay, thank you. And we're always going to start our webinars out like this. So if you've seen it before, you'll see it again. At NMDP, again, we believe everybody holds the key to curing blood cancers and disorders. We are a global nonprofit leader in cell therapy. We connect researchers and supporters and patients and donors. And so our network of transplant partners, physicians, and caregivers, with all of that, we're expanding access to treatment so that every patient can receive their life-saving cell therapy. And NMDP, we find cures save lives. And our mission statement is very easy to remember. We save lives through cell therapy, and our vision is to create a world where every patient can receive their life-saving cell therapy. And now I think we're going to go back to Carrie.
All right. And as Benita said, I do focus on fundraising. So fundraising is critical to our life-saving mission. And when partners like HOSA fundraise for NMDP, you're literally unlocking hope for our patients and their loved ones. And your fundraising dollars makes our mission possible. Truly, your fundraising saves lives. So the dollars that you raise go directly to our life-saving mission by helping to provide patient and donor assistance, further growing and diversifying the donor registry, and then funding research to improve patient outcomes. So for just a moment, let's talk about each one of these quickly. Patient and donor assistance. The number one barrier that our patients report when faced with a blood stem cell transplant is that cost. So transplants can be expensive, and most of those costs, even with the best of insurance, aren't covered by health plans. So you can see just $25 covers the cost of one clinic copay, visit copay. That could be a $25 gift. That could also be $5 gifts. $1,000 covers the total lost wages for a blood stem cell donor that gives them the time to take off work and volunteer their time to save a complete stranger. Again, some of those are larger gifts for $1,000, but those can also be several $10 gifts, several $5 gifts that add up. The second area is growing that donor registry. So patients are most likely to match with a donor who shares their ethnic background. So that puts really a lot of work on us to make sure that we are finding young and ethnically diverse potential donors to add to that registry. And it does cost $150, and that price is probably rising to add just one potential life-saving donor to the NMDP registry. That third area where your fundraising dollar goes to is research. We invest in groundbreaking research to expand access to our transplants and also to improve patient outcomes. So you can see $300 provides the tools and support for a research scientist to pursue new discoveries to prevent and treat post-transplant complications. And again, math is not my strong suit, but I think like $10, $30 gifts or maybe $30, $10 gifts, that all adds up very quickly. I did want to take a moment and just look at your fundraising platform that you're using. So I'm going to assume that if you're here, you already have a chapter team page. If not, that is something that you do need to set up. You do need to do that every year. nmdp.org/HOSA chapters, and you're going to see that site on the left. There's a register button. There's also right above there a tab called Get Started that will walk you through step by step how to get your chapter page started. To the right of that screen, this is Dublin HOSA's chapter team page. This is what your chapter team page will look like. You can see Dublin has already started a good deal of fundraising. You can also see there that they have 72 registrations added. So you're going to see on your chapter page the amount of fundraising as well as the number of people that you have added to the registry. Let me go right into. Okay, so the one that I wanted to show is incentives. So once you get your chapter team page and you are logged in, this is a feature, an extra tool on your chapter team pages that you're going to see me refer to quite a bit. So I want to make sure that you're aware of this. This is in our fundraiser user guide. That is also included in your fundraising resources on the website. But incentives are used to encourage and reward your donors, your contributors for their support. So you can customize these however you'd like. You can offer to mail like a personal piece of art for every donation or bake cookies. Some students have offered to dye their hair blue for every $20 donation. If you're going to do that, I recommend you go a little higher than $20, but it's completely up to you. The incentives, you can see, you want to click on the incentives, and when you're logged in, you're going to see, you can see that little pencil icon. When you click on that, that's how you can edit. So to add an incentive, you're going to add in a donation amount and a description. Let's say you're going to have a chili cook-off and you want everyone to buy tickets. You can add in their chili cook-off, $5, $10, whatever it is. You can even add a little picture of your chili. You can select the maximum number of times that someone can purchase that incentive or redeem it. You can set it to unlimited, or if you've got 20 slots, you can set it to 20. If you need to ask for additional information, let's say you're going to give them a t-shirt, you can say, please include your t-shirt size. If you're doing chili, maybe you want to say, list any food allergies or anything. You can get creative there as much as you want. And then once you save that, then on your donation form, you can direct people to your donation form and they can select that specific item. Just a note here that incentives can only be added to personal pages. But if you are a team member, if you want to add this to your team captain, your advisors page, all of those donations will roll up to your chapter team. And then if you want to take a look, here you can see one ticket to the chili cook-off, and then that way, if you're selling tickets, they can click right on there. They can also give donations, so that kind of frees up and gives you some opportunity there. So with that, let's jump right into some fundraising ideas. And again, you're going to hear me refer to those incentives quite a bit because they can be really, really useful when you're planning events. And then as we look at these fundraising ideas, some of them you might think, oh, this is stupid or this won't work. Hopefully you won't think they're stupid, but this won't work for me. Just take the ideas, take them with a grain of salt. These are ones that proved successful. And hopefully when you look at these, you can think how that might work for your chapter and in your part of the country. So the first one we're going to talk about, this was a homecoming dance for a school in Tennessee. They chose a night in Vegas theme and then reached out to local businesses and got donations to help with the startup costs for this homecoming dance. They were able to take a portion of each of the tickets that were sold. And I know they let me know that they sold over 400 tickets. They had fun music and casino games, a night in Vegas, and they ended up raising $7,500. So that was a dance that was already happening, and they just added the option of having a few dollars from each price of the ticket go toward their fundraiser. This one was very timely, a haunted hospital. This HOSA chapter set up a student-run haunted house, but they also added some carnival games, kept it very family-friendly to have it open for the entire community, and then had a $5 entry fee. I do know that they had some snacks for sale as well, and they ended up raising just over $1,300. And again, that's something that you could sell tickets to that haunted house using those incentives on your personal fundraising page. Another really popular one that a lot of chapters, a lot of students use are t-shirt fundraisers. So you can hold a contest to design the t-shirt. That could be a donation entrance fee type competition that would also be a fundraiser. And then once you get the design solidified, you can add that to places like Custom Ink, Bonfire. I know there are several others if you just Google them. It's just a bit of a process to add in your design and then share that link. You can open that up for people to buy the t-shirt, and then proceeds from your t-shirt sales will be cut in a check. And then you can send that check in to us and we'll get that added to your personal page or your chapter team page. Okay, this was Maddie here in the Midwest. Maddie's mother received a stem cell transplant and she wanted to do a fundraiser in her community, but also around her school. So what Maddie did, and you probably have seen these before with flamingos, but Maddie had some wooden cows that she painted each very differently, and then went through her community and promoted this, but to place these wooden cows in the front yards throughout her community. Now, the fundraising came into play here when Maddie put a cow in someone's yard, they were able to make a donation to remove the cows. Then there was a second level of a donation to choose where to move those cows. So maybe you wanted to give more to put the cows in someone just to mess with them, or someone you were perhaps a rival school. And then you also donate even more to ensure that those cows would never come back to your yard. So again, I know a lot of people do these with flamingos. I'm trying to think if I've seen anything else, but this was super successful and Maddie raised over $900. Again, a good tip here is to use those incentives and add those either on your advisors page or any of your team members page to accept those specific donations. And then again, all of those donations will roll up to your chapter team page. Okay, so another idea, a lot of students have used this successfully, is Instagram bingo. So you can download this bingo card. If for this card here, for every square that's on there, if they were to be filled, this would raise $50. We have a version that's 100 and I think 150 as well. You could also customize this. This is something you could drop into Canva and change those amounts however you'd like. You can add your chapter team logo on there. You could add your link. So you post this image to your Instagram story, and then you ask for donations to fill up that bingo card. Then you want to tag each contributor in each one of those boxes so that they can see which boxes are available. And then, as always with Instagram, please make sure that you put your chapter team page link in your bio. Sometimes Instagram will let you put a donate button, and the donations will come to NMDP, but they will go outside of your chapter. So the only way to make sure that your chapter gets credit is to put that link in your bio and direct people to make the donation there. You can see this NMDP chapter did a great job of that, of putting that link right in their bio. Okay, another social channel, Facebook. And I realize that you may not be on Facebook every night, but a lot of your contributors are. This was a HOSA student who just recorded a personal video talking about her involvement in HOSA and the service project partner of NMDP and why she was fundraising. And then her mom put the video on Facebook with a link. You can see that right there in the post that would go to her chapter team page. And then that's where, again, that's where a lot of your donors are hanging out on Facebook. So if you have a parent, a guardian, a relative, or even a family friend post this on their behalf, you can reach even more people. Your quick, genuine video that's talking about your interest in HOSA, your involvement, and then why you're fundraising for NMDP. And then again, just don't forget to add that link to your personal or your chapter team page. Okay, pie in the face and pie eating contest. So the HOSA chapter in Minot, South Dakota, they did a pie in the face contest. Every $1 donation equaled one vote. And then they chose the top 3 teachers and administrative staff to get the pies in the face. This was great because the students and the staff donated. Everybody wants to see their favorite or not so favorite teachers and admin get a pie in the face. And they did this on a Friday afternoon and raised just over $150. Now, the College of William and Mary took their pie in the face one step further and also added a pie eating contest. I know they did a $5 donation was a vote, and then the top 5 professors had to eat the pies. Again, students and the staff donated. And then kind of like with the cows, the professors were able to donate to get out of the contest or maybe nominate someone else to get the pie. So that one raised a little over $1,000, about $1,200. Lots of pie flying all over the place. So that's one, as with all of these, that you should plan ahead. Make sure you have, looks like they had a lot of garbage bags to keep it clean. And also, I've heard tips that shaving cream sometimes works better if you're going to do a pie in the face or even whipped cream rather than getting a whole pie. Completely up to you. All right, now I want to spend a few minutes talking about our pinup campaigns. A lot of HOSA chapters have taken advantage of these already, but our pinup campaign there are round cards. There's a spot at the top for you to write your name. And these cards, you want to sell these for a minimum donation. Most people start with $1. You could certainly go 2, 3, 4, or 5. These cards come in English and Spanish, and there's 100 per pack. And then what you do is you sell these. You can display them around their school. Some students use them as locker badges. You can put them around like the science door or on a bulletin board. And then once you sell these and promote these, you will collect the cash, the checks, and there's a form for you to send those in. We also include a walkthrough guide to give you ideas on how to run this at your school. You also will get a promotional poster and then a fundraising thermometer poster. You can see it there so you can start to color in what your goal is as you fundraise. One idea that we had a HOSA chapter do, they just took it one step further. And then there's space for the name, but you could also add on the back a message of hope to patients. And then if you do that, just collect those pinups, those little cards, and include those when you send back the check. And then we'll deliver those to a hospital where there are transplant patients. So that is something else that you could do with those pinup cards. All right. So local businesses. So one thing that students like to do, especially on college campuses, but it's possible at the other levels, is thinking of those local businesses where you might have some existing context. Maybe it's somewhere that you work. Local businesses love to get involved with nonprofit student organizations. You want to identify the right person. Usually you want to see a manager, or it may be the owner. Think about what you could offer in return. Is there some free advertising you could give the students at your school? You want to also then do a face-to-face ask, but also come prepared with a letter detailing why they should support you. This could be an ask for a straight up donation of $100, $200, $500. This could also be an ask for some donuts or pizza for you to sell. It could be anything that you're looking for. But with that letter and that in-person ask, you also want to follow up. And certainly, if they do provide, if they do provide a check or some food or gift cards to help you with your fundraising efforts, make sure that you thank them and follow up and report back on the difference that their support made. Local businesses are also a great place to bring those pinup campaigns in. You may have seen these like at a Taco Bell or a Dairy Queen. When you're in there buying your food and they'll just for one more dollar, you can support NMDP. That's a great way to do that as well. So get creative, just make sure that you make the right ask and follow up. So along that same line, restaurant fundraisers are also a great way to do a fundraising activity. So these can be chains. These can also be local restaurants. The businesses are going to donate anywhere between 10, 25% of the night's total sales. It's not unusual. Some of them will go a little bit higher than that, but 10 to 25 is the typical range. Again, this is something you want to plan ahead. Although I know Krispy Kreme has a 1 day order donuts to sell, but the majority of these you do need to plan ahead. You want to also consider, is this a local or is this a chain? They're going to have different restraints depending on if it's a local or a chain. Also consider those hours available. Is this just a morning with donuts or is this an all-day thing? The more you can get from that restaurant, the better. Also consider if they're going to give you percentages from takeout, dine-in, or drive-through. Some of those will vary. Also ask if you can include an informational display. So, to get people perhaps to make a donation, again, either with the pinups, you could even drop off a flyer with a QR code, but more information about NMDP and why you're doing the fundraiser. And again, promote, promote, promote. So you want to make sure that you pick a restaurant where there's a lot of traffic. Pick one that all of your friends are going to go to, and then spend a good amount of time promoting this give back night and making sure that you can increase traffic there. Now, I did some research, and apparently the most effective days to host a restaurant fundraiser are Wednesdays and Thursdays. But again, that's going to vary by areas of the country. That's also going to depend on whether or not you promote your event. Okay, so I'm going to call this one give them what they want. I don't know, I haven't had dinner yet. Those Krispy Kreme donuts look really good. We had a campus chapter at the University of Rhode Island. I thought this was pretty brilliant. There were no local Krispy Kreme within, I know he said within 30 minutes of their campus, but who doesn't love a Krispy Kreme donut, especially on a cool fall morning? So what they did is one of their chapter members drove 90 minutes early, probably in the dark one morning, and picked up dozens and dozens of donuts, brought those back, and then they, at multiple locations on their campus, sold those donuts, and they raised well over $700. Now, I think what's great about this example is it was not difficult. The worst part was that person who had to get up at the crack of, well, before dawn and buy the donuts. But you're really providing something that a lot of people are looking for. So, again, just getting those donuts and figuring out, is there something in your community at your school that is it a special coffee? Is it a donut? What is it that everyone would be really, really excited to purchase? And that was super successful. Okay, so this one, Isabella, in this picture here is with her dad. Her dad received a transplant, and I believe he was celebrating his 20th anniversary. So what Isabella did was her neighborhood was a very popular neighborhood for community members to drive through and look at holiday lights. You can see in that picture, there's a lot of lights there. So what Isabella did was she worked with her local NMDP rep, and she just set up a table in her driveway. So as people were coming through looking at the holiday lights, she had QR codes, some giveaways, and people could scan and make a donation with that QR code. She did this every weekend in December, and Isabella raised well over $2,000 with this one. So again, not very difficult, but finding an area where there was a lot of traffic and having that easily able to make a donation with those QR codes was successful. And then along the lines of the holidays, so this was a HOSA chapter that sold Santa's Kisses. They were just small Ziploc bags with some donated Hershey's Kisses and holiday candy, adding a little festive note card, and then selling these for $2 each. And this is something that you could easily replicate for other special days or celebrations. You could do a school pride around homecoming with candy that's in your school colors. Certainly Halloween, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day. I think the options are limitless there. Okay, so live streaming, your fundraising platform, once you're logged in, you may have seen this, you have the ability to go live. So if you or anyone in your member is on Twitch or can go live on YouTube, you can do a live stream right there on your page. You can do this on your team page or on your personal page. If you are looking for graphics, you want to just reach out to us at hosa@nmdp.org, and we can get you these custom NMDP graphic overlays. You want to pre-promote your live stream. And what's great about this little feature right on your team page, your personal page, is that if you do go live on Twitch or YouTube, if your viewers can make their donations to you without ever leaving your stream. So this is a picture. This young man was a stem cell donor, and what he did was he played a game, but then he also rode his stationary bike. And then he used incentives along the way to people that would make him eat hot sauce. I think he had to put a costume on and ride his bicycle for a while. It was very successful. I know he was planning to raise $100, $200, and he did raise well over 600 with this one. There are also interactive incentives if you do a live stream. You can set a donation amount, again, similar to the incentives, but these are interactive to reward anyone who makes a donation. They can interfere with your stream. So they can do jump scares, or like the wind blows your mouse while you're trying to game. I think there's one where your whole screen goes black. And that just, who doesn't want to make a donation to mess with your live stream? So that is always a fun option if you have some streamers. And this could be gaming, this could be a musical performance, whatever you come up with, you can live stream. Okay, I wanted to make mention of matching gifts. Believe it or not, between $4 and $7 billion of matching gifts funds go unclaimed per year. So, what matching gifts are? Companies will financially match donations that their employees make to nonprofit organizations. A lot of them will match dollar for dollar, but some of them will even double, triple the amount. So what you want to do is you're speaking with people that want to make a donation, is to ask their employer if they will match their donation. And if you forget to ask, what's great here is on your donation form for your chapter team page, for your personal page, as they're filling out their contact information and their credit card information, this is baked right into the donation form. So if you have a parent or a community member that's making a donation, they can type right in there that they work at the Home Depot or 3M, and then that information on how to submit a matching gift will come directly to them after the donation. So don't forget about matching gifts. Okay, and then just wanted to make a comment on QR codes. We like to use logodesign.net QR code generator. This makes nice QR codes. There are several sites out there, but this is a free one, and the QR codes do not expire. This is, you can create a QR code for your chapter team page. You can create one that goes directly to your donation form or your personal page, and then you can add those to a flyer. This is a flyer that you can download from our site that support my fundraiser for patients, and add your QR code directly to that flyer. You can add it to posters, business cards, stickers. A lot of students I've seen put them on stickers. And if they have a bake sale and you've got prepackaged foods or even a Ziploc bag, you can add stickers there. Coffee cups, water bottles, wherever. And the brilliant part of that is the QR codes with a smartphone, then your chapter donation form, your personal donation form, all of those, if they're on a smartphone. Credit card is always available, but then on a smartphone, they also have the option to use PayPal, Venmo, or Apple Pay. Okay, so fundraising resources. We went over a lot of ideas. You might be thinking, how am I going to pull all of that off? On nmdp.org/HOSA, you're going to find the fundraiser user guide. Those pinup kits, there's a link to order those. There's a list of even more fundraising ideas. Of course, our monthly webinars are on there. Communication tips and how to talk about NMDP. There are social media graphics, sample messages that you can copy and paste. I do recommend that you put your own type of communication in there as well to make them a little bit more genuine. But if you don't know how to get started, those are there. That customizable flyer is there. There's a fundraising app. And if there's something there that you don't see or something that you would like to have, all you need to do is reach out to it at hosa@nmdp.org, and we will certainly try to come up with something new or help you out with what we have existing. I also wanted to make a note about offline contributions. That's a fancy way of saying cash and checks. Maybe grandma wants to write you a check, a personal check, we'll take that. If you collect cash donations, you do want to take those and get a cashier's check just because cash can't be tracked. But then personal checks, cashier's checks make payable to NMDP Foundation. And then you want to mail that in with the offline contribution form that is posted on the website. You can see it here, and there's a lot of open fields there on this form, but fill out as much information as possible. And then there's a mailing address that you should mail that form and checks in to NMDP. And then our amazing finance team, when they get these, they'll know exactly which chapter team page or personal page to add these contributions to so you can get credit. So don't be afraid to collect cash and get a cashier's check or accept personal checks. And then, of course, as a reminder, you will be earning points as you fundraise. So for every dollar raised, it's 1 point. Also, on top of that, if your chapter team captain, your advisor downloads and logs into the fundraising app, that's a one-time reward of 20 points. You also get points for recruitment. So one person added to the NMDP registry is 10 points. That means their swab kit was returned. And then for every person who pre-registers, that is 5 points. It's important to note for both of these, adding people to the registry and pre-registry, is that they must use your chapter's join keyword in order to track that credit back. And those points that you're earning will earn prizes. There are 4 different levels. So that first milestone for 100 points, your chapter will be recognized from HOSA. The next one at 250 points, you will earn a merch item from NMDP for each chapter member. At 500 points is another recognition from HOSA for your chapter. And then that top tier at 750, which we already have at least 10 chapters that have reached this already. At 750 points, you will earn the exclusive lapel pins for each chapter member. These lapel pins are not your state pins. They are limited edition, usually student designed pins that you can only earn by achieving that 750 point level. And then lastly, I believe this is on the HOSA website. It's also on the nmdp.org/HOSA chapters website. But we currently have a matching gift challenge from TX Miller Foundation. So all of our fundraising that HOSA is bringing in right now is being matched dollar for dollar up to $25,000. So that does mean twice the life-saving impact. If you raise $150, you might remember that adds 1 person to the NMDP registry. But with this match, raising $150 is going to add 2 people to the registry. A $25 donation that pays for a clinic copay, a clinic visit copay, is now going to pay for 2. So this is really exciting. So let's continue fundraising and make sure that we get that $25,000 from the TX Miller Foundation. All right, I've done a lot of talking, and so I would love to open it up for questions, comments on any of the fundraising ideas that we shared or the incentives, or if you have any other ideas or suggestions that you'd like to share that others could learn from, please feel free to take yourself off mute.
Yes, hi. I'm from the Dunwoody HOSA chapter, and
Hi.
to be matched from the TX Foundation, I think you said, do we have to sign
Yes.
up for anything, or as long as we donate, it'll be matched?
Yeah, excellent question. Yes. So as long as your fundraising dollars are coming in, it'll automatically be matched. So there's nothing that you have to do other than to fundraise.
Before the 25,000 runs out.
Before the 25,000 runs out, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Benita. Yes.
And you get the double point, so.
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot to mention. Yes, on top of that, during this matching gift challenge, you get double points. So if your chapter raises 150, yes, that will add 2 people to the registry, but you're going to get 150 points and an additional 150 points. So raising just $150, you're going to get 300 points. Okay, I love this idea that came in that might work in some communities, is hosting a garage sale where donating a certain amount is the price of the item. I love that. That's an easy one to do as well. Everybody's looking to clean out their closets, have a garage sale, have a community sale, and yes, make a donation, and that is the price of the item. What a great idea. And as always, if you need anything, if you have questions about anything we covered tonight, if there's a resource that you're looking for that we don't have, that maybe we could help create, please don't hesitate to reach out to us via email. Those go directly to Benita, HOSA@nmdp.org.
And if there's something you would like to see a webinar on, please, we're always open to ideas. Thank y'all all so much.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great evening, everyone.